We are at the Values Voter Summit. Mary, one of the things that you work at is keeping families intact and together. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So do you volunteer with any organization, or do you work professionally with an organization?
So I have been all over the place. I think the thing that originally inspired me to get involved in the pro-family movement was just I had a kind of a chauvinistic dad who didn't express value for womanhood. I feel bad saying that because he was a dedicated dad. He did his duty and he was really focused on that, but there just still seemed to be like he valued men more, he valued money more than, so I always grew up wondering, what is the point of gender? What does that mean? And I didn't really resonate with any of the feminist mantras that are saying, well, it's just women are better than men, we got to get rid of men. And so then in 2013, when we had this redefinition of marriage thrust on us, the idea that two men could replace a woman really bristled me. I didn't like that. It really bothered me. So I started investigating the statistics of what is the point of gender, and that movement and the idea that two men can replace a woman really highlighted the differences between the genders and the point of the gifts that both genders bring to the development of humanity and to the development of the family and to the development of a child. So that I found to be incredibly fascinating, that actually men are essential and women are essential. They both have gifts. You can't skip either of them. And it's only pain that results when we do attempt to eliminate either of them. So that became something I was very passionate about. And it was very disturbing to me how superficial a lot of the political movements were surrounding it, that they just were just kind of
ignored the differences or pretended they were the same, or?
No, they were so focused on solving an extreme political crisis that we weren't bothering to talk about the whole picture of what's really at stake, and so usually in that crisis we would never talk about the central issues. We'd never talk about how whether gender is valuable, whether we can eliminate women from a marriage. We just deemed people to be bigots and just left it at that, and there was no room for discussion, no room for information, no room for anything except either you're with us or you're a jerk,
Okay, so when you're talking about the issue of man and women or gender differences, are you saying that any man and any woman can be okay for a child, or are you defining that a little bit further, like as far as the natural mother and the father, or can it be any father and any mother? Do you see where I'm going with this? I mean, because you have people that come in with, they may be a mother and a new boyfriend.
Right.
And the mother will say, well, the boyfriend is better than your father. He's replacing your father. Or the fiance, or the supposed new stepfather, or maybe the second stepfather. Or it happens the other way around as well, when the father will do the same thing. And basically telling a child that, this is your new mother, or your better mother, or your better father. But you have two genders.
I love the idea that an adult can tell a child, this is your better mother, and that it wouldn't actually be the child who would know, So that's very ironic to me. So from the thing that matters to me is a child deserves their own mother, their own father, and to be deprived of their own mother, their own father creates an existential crisis for that child. And you can bring in numerous wonderful adults who can do wonderful service for this child, but none of them can replace the parent, the mother and the father that they were born to have. And none of them can answer the question, why isn't my mom or my dad with me? Don't they love me? Aren't they dedicated to me? Am I not important to them? Why aren't they sacrificing to be with me? So all of those questions about how can't we form a family this way? Can't we form a family that way? Those are lovely adult inventions that do not solve the child's central question of who created me? Do they love me? Do they want me? Will they protect me? And am I enough in their eyes? And am I worthy of love? And that those questions for a child create everything about their worldview, and to just leave that up to what adults are willing to get involved in this life is a train wreck waiting to happen, because then the child is burdened their entire adult life with questions from that failed relationship.
Right. Based on what you've said, then it sounds like having the natural family is very important to a child. Do you do any work as far as helping natural families stay together? Because we do have a divorce issue in our country right now. What are your thoughts about that?
So I eventually just became incredibly passionate about helping people learn about the issue, just because all of us at some level are involved in a family, whether we're a child, whether we're a parent, whether we're a sibling, and those relationships are the most formative, the most important experience that we can have as human beings. And I think people should be able to have a full vision of how beautiful and how powerful that is. So I started creating some book clubs locally to just help people be exposed to that information. Within, I don't know, 6 months or so, we had about 37 book clubs that were people were gathering to understand that what the family is, why it's valuable, and how it's being impacted by public policy. I eventually got hired and did some work for a few different nonprofits, hoping to build kind of an educational system.
How many of those book clubs are still going on right now?
None.
Oh, really? That's a shame.
Yeah, it's a painful subject to me.
Okay. But the book clubs that were going, were there good, profitable discussions? Were people coming away from them learning something, or maybe committed to change?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.